Hello and Niao from our wet but still beautiful Wuxi city in China. Imagine a season where the air is soaked with moisture, the skies are perpetually grey, and the gentle patter of rain becomes your daily soundtrack for days and weeks to come. Welcome to China's plum rain season, or Meiyu as it is known here. I'm currently here in Wuxi experiencing it firsthand with up to 100% air humidity at almost 30 degrees Celsius or 86 degrees Fahrenheit. And let me tell you, it's quite the interesting topic for a video. Let's talk about plum rain, Chinese plums, typhoons, and lots of culture. So, what is plum rain? Plum rain is a unique rainy season that sweeps across East Asia, particularly affecting China, Japan, Korea, and Taiwan. It typically starts in late spring and lasts through early summer. Every year around the time of summer solstice, the longest sunshine day of the year, which was on 20th of June this year, the Pacific and South China Sea both received a maximum of sunshine hours and intensity. These enormous amounts of energy lead to huge evaporation of water into the atmosphere, and the resulting incredibly moist air masses from the south clash with cool air masses from the north, creating an almost stationary front that slowly moves northwards, first over Taiwan and Okinawa, then over the rest of China, Korea, as well as Japan, and even parts of eastern Russia. It brings enduring heavy rainfalls. This period is crucial for the replenishment of water resources, filling rivers, lakes, and reservoirs back up for the coming hot and dry summer. But it also poses challenges such as flooding and mudslides, agricultural disruptions, and several health problems, especially respiratory ones for more sensitive people. By the way, the annual tropical storm and typhoon season between May and October results as well from moist, warm air masses evaporated from the vast energy of warmed oceans. Hurricanes, cyclones, and typhoons are all tropical storms. They just have different names in different locations. And China faces an average 10 of them yearly between July and September that make landfall and bring torrential rains, high winds, storm surges, and giant waves with them. These storms can be deadly and wreak havoc once they make landfall. The name typhoon derives from the Chinese words tai and feng, which builds the name Taifeng. Fortunately, Wuxi is far enough away from the coast and we don't really ever face severe winds or destruction. But at least we get our plum rain season every year for sure. But why do they call it plum rain? Well, as you hopefully correctly guessed, it is not really raining plums and mostly also not even cats and dogs, although that might happen sometimes. It simply coincides with the ripening of the Chinese plums in China's Yangtze River Delta. As these fruit trees bear their juicy treasures, the skies open up to deliver weeks of persistent drizzle and occasional downpours. Consequently, the Chinese combines the two words plum and rain to name it plum rain or Mei Yu. The term plum rain was already mentioned as early as 1300 years ago by the famous poet Du Fu. All over East Asia, it enjoys a great deal of cultural significance. This isn't just any old rainy season, it's deeply woven into the cultural fabric. In China, it's seen as a time of renewal and growth. Farmers welcome the rain as a crucial period for crops, especially rice. Many slowly depleting water reservoirs get fresh input to provide the necessary irrigation and drinking water throughout more dry months of the year. This is particularly important in places with water scarcity in arid zones and on Chinese islands like the ones of Taiwan. So, as much as people don't like the non-stop rainy season, if it arrives late, it's eagerly awaited, and if it doesn't rain much, people get overly worried. However, it is not all sunshine and rainbows, or should I say plums and rain. The constant dampness can lead to mold on clothes and walls, and the gloomy weather can affect people's moods and lead to health conditions like respiratory problems, heart diseases, and inflammation. That's all happening around the summer solstice, which is a special day in the Chinese calendar as well, giving instructions to the Chinese farmers also in connection with the plum rain. It is not a festival or celebration day, and so here in Wuxi, the only thing you are supposed to do in this day is eating wonton or our local wonton. An old saying in Wuxi dialect goes like that.
胡子不吃稳等，是真不稳等。
没问题。
胡子不吃稳等，是真不稳等。
Which in Mandarin sounds like that.
夏至不吃馄饨，死后没有坟堆。
And in English means that. So if you don't eat your wonton for the summer solstice, once you die, you will not get a grave mound. So better eat your wonton. They are anyway very delicious and can be enjoyed in a variety of ways, like in chicken, bone or other soup, without soup, with sugared soy sauce, cooked in boiling water and served on a plate with aromatic black vinegar and spicy peppers tip, pan-fried or even deep-fried, and they come with lots of different stuffings like pork and shrimp, ground pork with vegetables like chives or bok choy, chicken, fish or seafood, and even stuffed solely with vegetables for vegetarian options. No wonder that those dumplings are widely popular all over China and enjoy the reputation of a comfort food. But now let's talk timing of the plum rain season, as it is so important for the farming and in many areas even for the life quality over the rest of the year by having or not having enough water for drinking and farming. It is closely tied to the Chinese solar calendar and typically begins in the south around the solar term known as Mangchong, or grain in ear, which falls around June 6th. It often ends in the south around the summer solstice, which is called Xiazi, which was on June 20th now in 2024. Further in the north it starts and ends a few days later, depending on the speed and intensity of the slowly northwards wandering weather front, till finally parts of Russia and North Korea receive the last bit. Another rule of the Chinese calendar says if the first day of Xiaoshu, which is this year's 6th of July, happens to have thunder, then the season will go on for another 2 weeks. This alignment with the solar calendar showcases a deep connection between Chinese culture and natural cycles. But wait, there is more to the story than just rain. The Chinese plum, or mei, is a cultural icon in its own right. These small tart fruits have been cultivated in China for over 3,000 years. Scientifically known as Prunus mumei, and endemic in the Yangtze River delta of southern China, around the area where also Wuxi City is located. One of Wuxi's famous parks is the Plum Garden, Meiyuan, full of plum trees, and another famous scenic area in Nanjing is called Plum Blossom Hill, Meihuashan, known for its beautiful plum orchards. Despite its name, it is actually more closely related to apricots than plums. They are not just for eating, plums also play a significant role in Chinese art, literature, and even philosophy. The tree was later introduced to Korea and Japan, where it also became culturally significant. The plum blossom has been a favorite subject of Chinese poets for centuries. It is often associated with winter and early spring, resilience and moral integrity. Famous poets like Wang Anshi and Lu You wrote extensively about plum blossoms. And chances are good that they even wrote those poems using plum wood brushes, as the wood of the plum tree is prized in China for making high-quality writing brushes. Besides the poems, especially blossoms of the plum appear in a variety of Chinese literature, like many classical novels and stories. In traditional Chinese painting, the plum blossom is one of the four gentlemen along with the orchid, bamboo, and chrysanthemum. They are often depicted in traditional brush paintings, symbolizing perseverance and hope as they bloom in winter. Further on, the plum blossom has 5 petals, which in Chinese culture represents the 5 blessings: longevity, prosperity, health, virtue, and peaceful end of life. And let us not forget about the culinary uses. Plums are pickled to make meigan, a popular snack and ingredient, which I personally feel horrible sour. Wait a moment. Here, we even have some here. I'll show you. That's how it looks like. Can you see? That's how it looks like. Very soft and smells pretty good, but it tastes so sour. It's horrible. Okay, let's continue. Preserved plums, Swanmei, are much better as they are sweeter. Much sweeter. Often eaten as a snack, used in cooking, and for one of my favorite drinks called Swanmeiche. That is a kind of concentrated juice with lots of sugar mixed with water and cold served. It's absolutely refreshing on a hot summer day. Plum sauce, the meijiang, is used as a condiment or in cooking. Especially fatty meats taste very good with that. Smoked plums, shunmei, are traditional snacks in some regions. And plum powder, mei fen, is used as a seasoning or in traditional Chinese medicine to treat digestive issues, coughs, and fatigue. It is also used to make meijiu, a sweet plum wine that is perfect for sipping on a rainy day. Cosmetics use plum blossom extract in some skincare products. Home fragrances are made from the plum blossom scent, are very popular in air fresheners and as incense. During Chinese New Year, plum blossoms, marking in the Chinese calendar the beginning of spring, are often used in the form of some twigs with blossoms on it as decorations during the spring festival. My conclusion. So there you have it. The plum rain season is more than just a meteorological event. While it is definitely not the best travel time to enjoy holidays in southern China, it is for sure a time of growth, both for nature and in Chinese culture. It reminds us of the deep connections between the natural world, human activities, and cultural traditions. Next time you hear about the plum rains, remember, it is not just masses of water falling from the sky, it's a poetic dance between the heavens and earth, celebrated in art, awaited by farmers, and yes, occasionally cursed by people dealing with moldy shoes, but hey, at least we have plum wine to help us through it. If you liked it, please consider subscribing. In that way you won't miss future videos on the channel and it helps this tiny channel a lot too. Thanks for watching, bye bye and 再见, your Laoma in China.